Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Leecros Reviews? Boy, that feels weird to say. Uh, the last time I did a channel review was back in 2018, and I was hopeful that I would be doing it yearly, but oh, how life has thrown you a curveball. But as things have gotten closer to the anniversary of my channel, I've started thinking about the past a lot, and there's a reason for that. That will I'm sure we'll get into later on in the review, I guess I should call it. So I started my channel back in 2013. That was 8 years ago, man. I can't hardly believe that. I had just gotten out of college, struggling to find a job. Just interesting times. And I remember I started doing YouTube because I was actually inspired by another gentleman who was doing at the YouTube and streaming as well at the time. That went by the name Riot House, which I have his channel up right here. Now, of course, he hasn't posted anything for years and years and years, but absolutely, I implore you to check out his channel. Even though he doesn't post anymore, there's a fair amount of content here that's very, very enjoyable. Definitely, like I said, even though he doesn't post videos anymore, man, there's some great moments back here. The memories. And I never did a collab with Riot, but he and I have chatted a couple of times on stream. So this year was not my stream debut technically, but my former stream debut didn't. It no longer exists anymore. I don't believe. Oh man, it's been a long time. I don't believe Riot posted any or many of his Twitch VODs to YouTube. So that back in the day, it's long gone now. But funnily enough, I was getting, comparatively speaking, I should say, a fair amount of views. I mean, you can see it right here. Overall, compared to now and compared to this period in here, it was a different time. All you really needed to do to get views on YouTube was to post videos and continue posting videos. And I did that for about a year before I had to take a break. I think it might have been around the same time that Riot stopped doing videos. It was just a year or two later, I think, that I stopped. I think it was a year. I think I posted videos for a year and then I stopped. And I stopped for 3 years. I took a long break. And of course, as you do with YouTube, when you take a break, your numbers just plummet. I mean, you can see here, I had some views for a while, and then they went down to almost nothing. And I came back. I chose to come back. I missed the experience of recording videos and talking about them and sharing my thoughts about them. So I came back, and funnily enough, compared to where I was when I was not posting videos, it crashed. Like that first year, and then the second year was just not good. It was not good at all. But it is what it is. I believe this time 3 years ago when I did my last review video, I had 30 subscribers. So I've gone up 13 since then, for what that's worth. So let's talk about this year, because that's why we're here, right? This year was a year, 2020, in all of its glory. Keep in mind that I work in retail, so imagine all the drama that you've seen and heard about, you know, the 2020 COVID pandemic, and I mean, I've seen a lot of it, honestly. In fact, at the start of the year, I took a break. I took a break from the end of February to, I believe, the start of June. I think. It might have even been closer to the end of June. I don't remember when I put up my first video after the end of the year. Obviously, I didn't do a review episode last year. But we started off, man, I miss the old YouTube analytics. Oh well, it's fine. I remember there was categories that you could click through and all sorts of cool stuff. But whatever, it's fine. Okay, anyway, back on track. Let's review the year. So first off, we started with Yes, Your Grace. And that first video showed up, and I posted it on... I didn't set up any of this ahead of time, so let me bring it up on my second monitor real quick. Let's see. What would be the next page? Nope. Actually, can I just bring this over? Let me try to bring this over. Like this? There we go. I think that'll work. We'll just put this right here-ish. So, right around the end of April, actually, was when I posted my first video. So, yeah, I took a break from February to April. After the birthday, you could call it. I took a break for a while. Obviously, there was a lot of chaos going on at work and a lot of uncertainty, and I didn't have the time to do what I wanted to do. It was a rough start for the year, for sure. Yes, Your Grace was... a game that existed, that I played. I love the premise of Yes, Your Grace. I was absolutely livid that they didn't take more risks with the game. I was unhappy with the story. I thought it was bland, predictable, and largely uninteresting. I explained my opinions at the end of that series, and my opinion, I still have that opinion. I feel like not enough of the characters got fleshed out. We didn't see enough of the world that we were meant to care about and expected to care about it. So I was not happy with Yes, Your Grace. I'm not upset that I played it. It was an interesting experiment, but not much more than that, I'm afraid. So once I got burned by Yes, Your Grace, and keep in mind that by the time I started Carrion, I had already finished Yes, Your Grace. I did Yes, Your Grace in about 2 or 3 sittings, something along those lines. And I was ready for something a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more fun. So Carrion was coming out, and I'm like, oh, that seems like it could be a fun game. So I picked it up. I thought it was a blast. I played through the entire game until its conclusion, and it was great. I loved it. I absolutely adored it. It was a little short for my liking, but very, very well done. And of course, if you wanted to compare that to, say, this graph here, the August period, right in through here, it was a bit of a lull. Carrion didn't do very well as far as views go, but whatever. At the end of the day, I enjoyed it, and that's all that really matters to me. And then after that, we picked up with 2 games at about the same time. Ruin Arc and Crusader Kings 3. Ruin Arc is... This is weird to say because it only has 132 views. But Ruin Arc kind of was like... It kind of went micro-viral. In this, like, based on everything that you see here. I mean, here the views aren't that great, but definitely a few people took notice because in September, My views, my watch time, my views, most of my subscribers for the year all came during the period that I was playing Ruin Arc. And welcome, folks. Ruin Arc, that's not... Ooh, spoilers. I'll have to cut that out. There's No, go back. There's spoilers in them there hills. So where is my... There it is. Don't worry about any of that. So it did very well. Of likes, views, comments even. Crusader Kings 3, not so much. Crusader Kings 3 was kind of a bit of a flop, which kind of surprised me a little bit. Crusader Kings has always been one of the more popular games that I've played for the channel, and Ruin Arc blew it out of the water. It was incredible. Absolutely blown away at that. I was not expecting this random early access game that I've played a few times to get as much attention as it did. And I think that's kind of the key to making it big on YouTube in a certain sense, is you want to catch games like that have a following, but it might not be a big game. Like, there's lots of people playing Crusader Kings 3. They're not going to be watching me make videos on it. There's some people doing Ruin Arc, but not a whole lot. And it was an interesting, different kind of game. So, color me surprised. Color me very surprised. Probably definitely going to be seeing more Ruin Arc in the future. Maybe once it gets a little bit more fleshed out. Just saying. So, after that, we got into Crusader Kings. Pretty heavy. That Crusader Kings 3 series is still ongoing, even though there was just a new video. That was a video, yeah. DLC, stuff pack that Paradox released. I still plan on going back to this series. I just haven't had the time to. And then in comes October. And there is an interesting thing that happened in October. It actually happened sooner, but we'll start it with when the videos picked up. I was invited to join a stream of Sea of Thieves by just strictly J2, formerly Gameplay Chat, formerly, you know, he's changed his name a lot, folks. Just saying. But I have been a subscriber for J2 for, oh man, almost as long as I've had a YouTube channel, honestly. Let me rephrase that. Almost as long as I've been active with watching Let's Plays on YouTube. Because I've had a YouTube channel since 2007. I just didn't do anything with it except watch other people's videos. So, needless to say, you know, a chance to play games and record videos with a man who I enjoy watching and listening to was a major deal for me. And of course, we've had some folks come over from his channel, and I welcome you all. It doesn't look like it based on the views, but I mean, I'm not doing it for the views. I'm not doing it for the clout or the collab. I'm doing it because it's fun. And J2 is a great person. He's fun to play with. I absolutely suggest you go check out his channel, which I'm probably gonna bring up just so that you can see it. because I'm a responsible human being, and I had all of this planned out in the beginning. Yeah. Of course, he's been busy. He's done his own thing. He has his own core group of friends that he plays with, but absolutely, go check him out. He does a lot of... In fact, he does a lot more streaming now than YouTube, but he's planning on changing that. But again, check him out. He has a metric ton of subscribers. But, I mean, absolutely. Great guy. I love playing games with him. He's a lot of fun to play with. We'll have to talk about doing something a little bit more than Sea of Thieves. But I love Sea of Thieves, but I've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves lately. A lot of Sea of Thieves. And you're going to see more of that. So, Amnesia. Oh, man. So, here we are. We're in Halloween. Halloween's in full blast. And I decide I want to play a spooky game. What better game to play than Amnesia? The big YouTuber game, right? Everybody plays Amnesia at least once. Look at these view counts. These view counts are incredible. Oh man, that game just totally blew everything out of the water. 10 out of 10 would play again. In retrospect, Amnesia was not as scary as I thought it was going to be. The biggest scares were the thriller parts. And I think that's part... How do I want to put this? It's partly my fault, because I figured out how the monsters work very early on. It turns out if you just turn around and stare into a corner of a room, they won't see you or bother you or even really acknowledge your existence at all, which turned Amnesia from a spooky horror game to I'm going to cower in the corner and turn my face away until the spooky music stops. So the scariest part for Amnesia was the thriller chases. Obviously, the one with the water monster is infamous, even though I think something funny happened during that one too. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it got stuck or something. And then there was also a couple of other chases throughout the game. It wasn't that bad. We got to see Alexander's inner sanctum, and it was not safe for work. And then we went back to Crusader Kings and Ruinark. That's really about all there is to say about that. Oh, I forgot that this existed. This was a random clip from a stream that I did with J2. It was from one of the fishing streams. I think I cut it out, or no, it should actually still be in the video, but it was like at the very end, and as I was jamming my fingers around, I accidentally clicked my stop record button, and it's just Four Fox with a massive leech.
Did someone fall? Yeah, that's you. Okay.
So yeah. That grub on my screen is absolutely enormous. It is man-sized. The man-sized grub. Ah, good times. Good times. Oh, you went back. Sad. No, it was not that far back. Okay. So, of course, again, we did more Sea of Thieves fishing. And that wrapped up at the start of January when J2 finished his fishing adventure. He used me. He used me for his fishing stuff. But that's fine, because I then got to go on regular adventures with him, and that was also fun. Of course, we had the World Event Marathon for Gold and Glory. We had more adventures in Sea of Thieves, and I could shake my fist at. And I still have more that I need to chop up and upload. I have, I think, 2 or 3 more trips on the Sea of Thieves yet to do. And that's assuming that no more happen between now and whenever I get around to chopping them up and uploading them. And then we get back into Crusader Kings. And I've noticed something interesting between my earlier videos this year and the later videos this year. When I post videos with custom thumbnails, they don't get as many views as the ones that I post without thumbnails. I'm starting to think that my thumbnail game is just absolutely poor and terrible and should probably get curled up under a rock and die. As I said, I've gotten more views, roughly, here we go, since I stopped posting thumbnails on these videos, specifically, you know, the Crusader Kings videos and the Sea of Thieves videos, than I did on any of the ones that I had thumbnails on. So it's an interesting oddity. And now we're getting up into the present day. Loop Hero is the last series that I've... No. Oh, no. I missed one. I missed two. Oh, I completely forgot about those parts. I was gonna bring them up, but... Okay, so... Professional at its finest. Back here when I was done with Yes, Your Grace, I started up another game. I don't remember what it was called. I don't remember what it was called at all. But it was another story-driven game. And let me bring it up on my phone. Oh, that's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to bring it up on my... more spoilers. I'm gonna have to bring it up on my YouTube. Let's see. Ashes of God's Redemption. Yes, of course. How could I forget that? And I actually recorded a couple of episodes of this game. I played it for about 90 minutes. And unfortunately, it was the first game in a while that I had to scrap. And it's not any problem with the game, but I was just gotten off of Yes, Your Grace, and I was absolutely livid at the tropes that it was using. Very commonly used tropes that I've seen a million times, and not even really innovatively. And I was noticing some trends in that game as well that was giving me concerning signs, and I felt horribly guilty for bashing Yes, Your Grace, and I didn't want to do it again. And as I say every single time, if I'm not having fun playing a game, I'm not going to play it for the channel. I'm just not. And while I think that I might have warmed up to it had I given it more of a chance, and I might give it another chance in the future, it's not... It wasn't the right time for it, we'll put it like that. So, anyway, now that we jumped back a little bit, let's jump back forward. Back forward to Loop Hero. Well, back forward kind of makes sense. Loved Loop Hero. I'm going to continue playing it. I just need to marathon it and finish the game. I'm in the last chapter. It shouldn't take too long. I'm probably not going to play it too much after that, but I'll let my viewpoints on the game settle on the last episode. And of course, that brings us all the way to the present day. I haven't uploaded a video for a few days, and that's because I ran out of a backlog of edited videos, for lack of a better word. Words can't even begin to describe my last month and a half. It's been rough at work, and things are looking like they're gonna improve from here, so fingers crossed. I have work in the morning. Sorry about that. Refreshing the page is what my record button does. Okay, well, anyway, yeah, got a bit sidetracked on on some things, had to go check a couple things who I was working with, and when I had to go in. And where was I? I don't even remember. We went through all the videos that we did this year. We went through the one that I didn't do. It was the first game that I did not decide to post any of the content that I recorded onto my channel. And finally, I do have another series that I'm doing on Creeper World 4, which I'm a big fan of the Creeper World series. I've been playing their games forever, basically. I feel like I was in high school when Creeper World 1 came out on, like, Flash game sites that no longer work. RIP Flash. But, I haven't finished that series yet, so I have not posted a video. So that will be for the next year, for next year. What else? I also have, I'm going to try to finish my Crusader Kings 3 series next year. And probably start a new one. Maybe, depending on what happens with that. Because I love Crusader Kings. I enjoyed Crusader Kings 3. I enjoyed playing it. Obviously, it's not getting the views that I would like, but that's fine. It's whatever. I don't care. I have thought about streaming, as in me streaming, me being the host streaming, and it's certainly something that I've thought about. I can't monetize my channel, obviously. No removal requests for copyright. We're all on good standings. No subtitles, of course. Couple of comments, of course. Not many, but a few. Also, let's talk about Lords of Magic for a second, because even though Lords of Magic has been dead on my channel for years, it still took the number 2 spot in my most watched videos. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about Lords of Magic that people like. And of course, if you were interested in my top videos, there you have it. Ruin Arc is topped out over this year. As I mentioned, a very popular game compared to the other games that I've played this year. So that's interesting. I love numbers. I am a nerd for numbers. And I love absolutely going through... I want to go back to the last 365 days. I love checking out these things. You know, my impressions are down a little bit compared to last year. I've had more people click through my videos. How often videos are watched after seeing an impression of it. I can't really see my views or unique viewers. I guess I'm not special enough. But that's fine. You can check out engagement. There's a lot of interesting information here, but oh, this is just Ruin Arc? No, this should be everything. Yeah. People loved Ruin Arc. Yeah. Yep. Lords of Magic. Man, I need to go do another Lords of Magic series. In fact, there may be some of that already recorded. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Spoiler warning. And of course, audience, viewers. Not a lot of information for me, just because I don't really have a large viewing audience, but it's interesting information nonetheless. 95% of my viewers are unsubscribed. Oh, none of that is surprising. Look, I'm just a little guy in a big world, tiny fish, really tiny fish, and hey, it's whatever. You know, this is all fun and games for me. But that's it. That's about all that I have to say. And if I was a more functioning individual, I'd have like a montage from the last year that would play after this, but I don't. I'm not nearly cool enough to do that. So you just have grumpy old Leecros here, grumping around, going, meh, back in my day, we had to use the big chunky tube televisions. I don't have a good way to end this video, so it's just me rambling. Well, I take that back. I guess I do have a good way to end this video. So, hopefully we'll see you folks next year. And until then, happy gaming. Also, there's probably going to be more Sea of Thieves content. Just saying.